A woman is suing singer and songwriter R. Kelly for sexual battery and failure to disclose a sexually transmitted disease. Faith Rogers told CBS News that she was in a relationship with Kelly when she was 19 for nearly a year before leaving him. Kelly is no stranger to controversy. He's faced multiple sexual misconduct allegations dating back to the late 1990s. And Jim DeRogatis joins us now. He's a former music critic from the Chicago Sun-Times who's been covering this story for nearly 2 decades now. He's now an associate professor at Columbia College and co-host of the radio show Sound Opinions. So you've been following this for such a long time. We know you wrote this explosive article looking at R. Kelly, Jim. He recently surfaced, R. Kelly, saying that these allegations are coming a little bit too late at this point. There have been rumors for years that he's liked younger girls. He famously married Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. Why exactly, Jim, do you think this is all coming to a head now?
Well, I think African-American women have been talking out about this problem for decades. But the combination of the Time's Up movement and #MeToo are having a real impact now. It's better late than never. But what we have here is singular in the history of popular music, in that this man is not part of groupie culture and the romance of all of that with pop musicians. This is a pattern, allegedly, of 3 decades of predatory behavior of young women, often underage, mistreating them physically and mentally.
So some people have said in this Me Too movement that stories of people like Harvey Weinstein have only now come out because these were men who were at the end of their careers. They had less power. Do you think that there are any differences between Weinstein and R. Kelly?
I think Kelly's star is fading since the days of I Believe I Can Fly. But, Rena, let me tell you what is different about this story, in addition to the scope of it, 30 years and dozens of young women. It is the parents in Florida, Georgia, and Chicago, all of whom spoke to me on the record for Buzzfeed since last July, are saying that their daughters are being held in a cult and that they are brainwashed. Those are words that these parents have used in police reports. There have been investigations in Florida, Georgia, and Illinois with no law enforcement action, and interviews by the FBI for hours and hours of all the sources I've quoted and many others. They're saying their daughters are being mistreated and are in trouble right now, are sexual assault victims right now, and no one's doing anything to get those girls out of this situation. It's harrowing, and that's unique.
You know, Jim, you say no one's doing anything. It's been 3 decades. Multi-states have filed complaints against him. Some people have said it's because these women are black, that they're people of color who have not had their stories highlighted. Do you think that's the reason why, for so long, these stories have gone unnoticed?
I've said that, Rena. You know, and I'm only amplifying what dozens of black women have said to me. I'm the one who's been doing the reporting. I'm not the one saying this. They say nobody matters less in our society than young black women. The victims of Harvey Weinstein, allegedly, we know them. They're beautiful white superstars. We see them on television, in the movies. I don't think people are relating the way they would, thinking these daughters in Florida, in Georgia, in Chicago could be my daughter. And I just think that's tragic.
Jim, as I mentioned earlier, you've been covering this story for decades. What made you stick with this for so long?
You know, I don't think you're a human being, much less a journalist, if people are calling you and telling you they're in trouble or their daughters are in trouble and you don't do what you can do. Yeah, these people are in trouble, and law enforcement's not doing anything. Until very recently, the media at large didn't do anything. The music industry isn't doing anything, and young women are in trouble. I'm just devastated by that fact, and I'm living with it. What I'm living with is a fraction of what the many women he's allegedly hurt and what these parents are going through. I have no right to complain about the toll this story's taken on me when they're living with it the way they are.
It's fascinating to see it all unfold now. Jim DeRogatis, thank you very much, Jim, for joining us from Chicago.
Thanks for your interest.